Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we are back in Medieval Dynasty, and what I intend on doing is giving you a tour of my massive city. We're going to look at the different sectors. I'm going to talk a bit about how the city has evolved and, throw a few tips in along the way. So let's get started. So on the east side of the city we have the farm area. We've got orchards which feed the population, hops which we use for the tavern, and then we've got these massive crops, wheat and flax, two really good crops that sell well at the markets locally, and to be honest, this is where I make most of my money to keep the city running. Come down into this section here. Now originally when I first built, the clay here was very handy, but now that has evolved into a yard or a kind of garden for the tavern, where we've got two ladies working, you can see here, and we also have visitors from the local town, such as Agnes here. She comes and sells her wares. This actually used to be the site as well of the donkey shed. We had some donkeys here, but we no longer deal with donkeys, and it has this kind of heritage, this area. It's a really nice spot to come and have a drink. But if you move beyond that, we head into the city and we soon come to some industry. We have our sewing hut here, level 3, and a smithy behind it, and the barn where my population are working away, as you can see. We also have a chicken coop, and over behind the tavern, next to these wells, we have a goose coop, or what do they call it? The goose house. You can see here. So we've got some industry as well. This was one of the original parts of the settlement. As you can see, it was on the flat. Little did I realise how vast the city would become. It has expanded up the slope. Potentially, if I had anticipated its size originally, had known how sprawling this game is, I probably would have built it on a flatter plane, but I don't really care. If there's a bit of a slope to my settlement, it doesn't really matter. They're up there, they've got great views across the valley onto the water. One of the original buildings I built was this hunting lodge. Here, this one, and where we currently have 4 hunters coming off duty that go and relax. The torches have come on around the settlement, and you can see I have a log fence around a lot of the settlement. Sorry about that. And right in the middle we have the resources store. This is obviously a level 3 building. We have many logs in the settlement, and I have stacked them over to one side as additional storage. We have the main kitchen. I've done a lot of my baking here. Understandably, it's right in the middle next to the store here, and thrown in down this section here we have the food store. Again, another level 3 building. But where do the population relax? Well, they've got seats and stools around the place, but we've got 2 little areas where they all come and chat and socialise. This section here, you can see we've got some benches laid around in a semicircle, and they have a good old chinwag. We've got flowers, we've got storage. That's one spot. And then over here, if you like, we have a bathing area. You can come and wash by the fire. Some people enjoy this spot. But we've also got some compost bins. We have 6 here. They do a good job creating fertiliser, well, rot that we can turn into fertiliser, so that our farmers who work from this building here, this is the farm shed, they can gather their resources. Also got chests lying around in which I store more fertiliser, excess fertiliser and seed. And you probably notice as well that we have some fruit trees in and around the settlement. It's just ease of use for the population. They can just come and pick some fruit and enjoy it and eat it. So that's very much an industrial part of the town, where the services and the smithies and the carpenters work. And then we have more residential area. We've got a line of houses here, small houses and standard houses. And you can see we've got some little back alleys that weave in amongst these buildings. We have a high population. Obviously this is a city, so you've got different residential zones. We have a well in the centre here, and these two are talking about their day's experience. And some more orchards thrown in for convenience of food, and they all really appreciate the range of food and fruit that we have in the town. There is a little bit of industry over here. We have a sewing hut here, as you can see. They like to keep busy. But as the town developed, that was originally one of the first residential areas. We expanded up the slope, and in the shadow of this amazing mill, a recent addition to the settlement, we have some larger houses. These are on stilts on the slope, made of stone. And you can see lined up along here, they look very grand, looking out across the settlement. They have refined window shutters and doors, and we have a range of decoration and hanging decoration there as well, and rugs. Very cosy. The population is generally very happy with how their houses are adorned and decorated. You can see we have another row behind here. This is the most recent set of houses. One of them actually still isn't occupied, but it will be soon. And then we have some nicer plank fences that run along the outer boundary of the settlement in the south, running along up to the slope. We have tried to provide good lighting. As you can see, we've got lamps at different points around the settlement. And then on this rocky slope here, we can't build any buildings, so what we decided was we'd have some crops. So we've got things like beetroot and oat and all sorts of other carrots and cabbages and things like that growing in these areas that they can harvest in the safety of the settlement. We'll just walk back through this old part of the town. People are getting on with this. People are washing. Oh, this is the herbal hut, by the way, where we make potions. A number of herbalists spend their time in the fields gathering flowers. But then we have the main road, which heads on down to the town. As you can see, our location is here by Gostovia, near the main river here, and we're looking out towards Gostovia now. I find being near Gostovia very useful, largely because they have 4 or 5 traders there who I can sell my goods to, which is really useful. So on the southwest side we have the main city, and then on the northeast side we have the dock district. As we go in here, you can see we have some industry, what a kitchen, and some more building settlements. But importantly, we have our stables with my stallion here, ready to be saddled up and ridden across the land. And we have some more homes. And then something that's really important to the settlement, the beehives. We've got a range of beehives across the settlement. You only need one person to run a beehive, and the excess honeycomb ends up in your food store. The ladies are down here talking by the water. This is actually a popular spot for people. They come down here and chat and talk and look out across the waves, the water as it hits the bank here. And then we have 2 fishing huts. We have some renowned fishermen working these with some excellent skills. You can hear my stallion in the background there. Farming is important. We do have 2 types of livestock. We've got cows at this end of the settlement. You can see, wow, he's a big beast, this one. And they all fit in there. And then finally at the end of the docks, we have a fold where we have a healthy flock of sheep and a very skilled shepherd. Oh, and incidentally, and another smith as well there. You can see here all the sheep lined up. So cutting back to the daytime, we've just seen our sheep. They are now out eating the grass, enjoying themselves. Our shepherd doesn't look too happy, but he's doing a great job. So we saw that the residential area had sort of sprawled its way out to the north. Well, beyond that, we also have another orchard, which is quite substantial. As you can see, we've got hops, we've got apples, we've got pears, we've got plums, everything you need to run a good settlement. But we've also got over this side our market. So we have 4 market stalls selling a range of goods. The money that we earn from the market stalls transfers directly into the resource storage area, and that's a really handy thing. It also keeps our products ticking through rather than building up in our storage, which can be a problem as you move into the game. This is a large house owned by 2 of the market stall owners. It's kind of so that it's right next to where they work, and they find that very useful indeed. As we go up round, you can see this orchard sprawls around this area. So that is the city. It has taken hundreds of hours on vanilla settings, that's important to remember, to build this city. I've actually enjoyed every moment. The management, the building, having to grind to get to the top levels. It has been very satisfying. If you've watched my videos on this game before, then you know that I highly recommend it. I carry on highly recommending it. It is a really cool, excellent game. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the tour of my city. If you have any questions, add them in down below. And if you haven't subbed already, it'd be awesome if you could. So once again, thanks for watching, and I'll be back with you very soon.